Russia is accumulating the forces to have another attack on Kyiv in spring or maybe in late winter. So we take these comments very seriously, and this is why we are preparing from our side to that.
Now, we've been talking about weather, but you have to really have some perspective here, because it's -7 degrees in Kyiv this morning, where the air raid sirens have been going on. But thankfully, heating there has been restored after Russian attacks last week targeted civilian energy supplies. Let's speak to Kira Rudik, who's a Ukrainian MP and leader of the Golos party. She joins us from Kyiv. Good morning to you, Kira.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Is everybody's heating now been restored?
Almost everybody's, and this is actually a fantastic result from our emergency teams, because for the last week we were struggling a lot with heating, electricity, and water supplies to be provided for the capital and also for all the cities that were targeted by Russian missiles. However, today there was another attack, and we are informed that at least 2 infrastructure objects in Kyiv are hit. So right now, I'm coming to the tap, and when I'm turning it on, I'm looking like, okay, would there be water or no? Thank God we still have electricity and heating, and we do hope that that we will be able to continue having this basic level of comfort. Unfortunately, at the rural areas where the damages are also severe, the heating and the energy supplies are not being restored. And this is something that is the concentration right now for the emergency services.
And I think I was looking at a tweet from Alexei Goncharenko, another MP who we have on this programme quite a lot. And he was just saying that, people are in such difficulties, but that you go into a coffee shop and everyone's kind of, not happy, but they're all kind of smiling, and that there's a great feeling of solidarity in the face of, freezing temperatures and things not working because infrastructure is constantly being hit. What have you observed recently over people in Ukraine, people in Kyiv, their kind of, their kind of mental health and how their resolve really? Is it exactly the same as it was on day one?
I think the resolve is even stronger, because you suddenly learn that your responsibility is not only to take care of yourself and your family, but also of the people around you and everybody that you know, especially the elderly and the family with children. Because there is only chance for us to go through that is to help each other, to make it easier, to bring warm food to the people who cannot go out, to support the families with younger children, just, like with basic help. And we see that people started being even more open, even more supportive. We thought that the amount of donations that people are making for our army should be exhausted by this time, but it's the opposite. The more Putin is trying to scare us, the more rockets are targeting our cities, the more people are saying, oh, okay, okay, I had those savings. Let's help our boys and girls who are fighting. Let's help our heroes, so this will stop. I think Putin made a huge mistake with thinking that would be a good way to break us, to weaponize the winter. I think it's the opposite right now. The strength that we are building and the connectivity between people that is being built is getting only stronger.
What did you make of the decision, and we think it was by FIFA, not to allow President Zelensky's video message to be played at the World Cup? Apparently, the state of Qatar were fine with it, but FIFA said it was too political.
You see, it's very strange that 10 months into this war, there are still people who live in this illusion that something is too political and that you can isolate yourself from what is happening, what is going on. They say it is unfair that Ukrainian President Zelensky will be addressing the nations because the sport is away from politics. But what about 184 men and women who died during this war, who were sportsmen and who were supposed to participate in the games, who were supposed to participate in different competitions. So one of the things that we observe is the world is learning very slowly that there is nothing that is separate from the politics. There is nothing that is that can stand aside, because we right now are standing within this like crucial question of values and question of what can and cannot happen in 21st century. And there is no way to stand aside. You have to take sides. And we see that some countries, some people, mostly democratic countries in Europe, already learned these lessons hard way, and some not. And we want to address more and more nations that stand neutral and explain what is happening and call for their help and explain how their lives are being influenced by what's happening in Ukraine. Recently, I've been to G20 summit, where there were so many nations who just thought that it's just like some political debate between Russia and Ukraine, and this is why they are not receiving enough grains and they are on the edge of starvation. And we were explaining what is happening. We were explaining what is going on and how situation will not change for better unless we win. And to win, we need international support.
Just finally, Kira, for people in this country who, you know, their minds are on many things, including Ukraine, also, you know, the cost of living, energy prices, etc. What is your feeling about what is going to happen over the next 6 months or so? Because, you know, we are led to believe that Russia have had many setbacks. They don't seem to be advancing. All they seem to be doing right now, when I say all, it's in inverted commas, what they seem to be doing right now is not making any progress, but they're making life incredibly difficult for Ukrainians in terms of attacking infrastructure. Is this what you expect will continue for the next couple of months, or what do you see is going to happen?
Well, I would divert this question to the recent interview of our commander, Zaluzhny, who says that Russia is accumulating the forces to have another attack on Kyiv in spring or maybe in late winter. So we take these comments very seriously, and this is why we are preparing from our side to that. We understand that Putin never threw away his ideas of restoring Russian empire, and honestly, he never threw away his ideas of getting Kyiv. So we have to be ready. I can tell you this Christmas, we are getting even more ready to the siege, to potential nuclear attack, to anything that may happen in like unprecedented in our lives. However, we also understand that to push him back and to win next year, we would need the support from our allies to continue. And for that, we will need to do a lot of work. Like one of the things that I truly believe at is that at the very beginning of the year, we need to seize Russian assets and use them for the sake of Ukraine to cover for the expenses that our allies, such as UK, are having. Because you're absolutely right, the cost of life, the food shortage crisis, they are all affecting people. And it's so unfair that people are paying out of their pocket to support us when it is Putin whose crimes they're paying for. So we need to use Russian money to make it easier on our allies to support us.
Okay, Kira, thank you very much. Thank you for talking to us. That is Kira Rudik. She's a Ukrainian MP and leader of the Golos party.